Welcome, welcome, welcome to Build Your Best Life. I'm Coach Deborah, and it is Thursday, the third Thursday. So, I got my girl Anastasia here with me. How are you today, Anastasia?
I am good. I am doing really good. How are you, Miss Deborah?
I'm awesome. Cannot complain. Love it, love it, love it. Good evening, Dan, Deacon Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. We're always excited to be on here because I love, love, love what I am doing. So it is a pleasure. Today, we have a great topic for you as usual. I always say, I guess you say she always say that. Well, I think you're great. But today's topic is one that's close to my heart: emotional regulation and stress management for young men. We live in a world that is often just bombarded with different things that young men have to try to maybe toughen up or hold on, get a grip. But the truth is, real strength comes from learning how to handle what's happening inside without letting it control you. So whether it's school pressure, work stress, relationship drama, or just the weight of expectations, learning how to recognize and manage your emotions is a life skill that will take you far. So tonight we're diving deep into how to recognize emotional triggers before they take over. Okay? Because we want to respond instead of reacting.
That is such a key thing that you said just now, responding instead of reacting. And I believe that a lot of times we don't consider the fact that young men have different triggers than young women do. The expectations that are placed on young men is different from the expectations that are placed on young women. Some of the things are the same, we want them to do well in school and get good grades. We want them to, be social and have good friendships and relationships. Be concerned about their mental and physical health. But for young men, they are more engaged in risky behaviors. The peer pressure is stronger with young men. The range of pressure is stronger and wider with young men when it comes to that pressure for alcohol, drug testing, when it's a pressure, when there's the testing of their manhood, they're being challenged in different ways. There's all sorts of people that are trying to figure out, are you tough enough to handle this? Are you tough enough to handle that? And they're having to show up and show that they are tough enough to handle this, or because I'm a man, I can do this. Because I'm a man, I can do that. And there is a lot that young men are going through on their own, particularly that a lot of us as women may not understand, but also as adults may not recognize. And so, one of those things that needs to be considered with both young men and young women, but with young men particularly, because remember where we are, this is Build Your Best Life. So, we're going to make sure that our young men are covered and that they are considered in every situation. And one of the things that needs to be considered is understanding emotional regulation. In order for you to understand it, you have to know what it is first. And so, emotional regulation is the ability to control your responses to stress, to anger, to frustration, and to sadness. And that is something that even as adults, we there are many of us that have not mastered those skills, how to be able to regulate our emotions and remain in control of ourselves in those type of high stress and high pressure situation. But this skill is crucial for mental and physical well-being and is developed over time through learning and practice. How does it work? You may be thinking, and here are some examples of how we can regulate our emotions. We can do that by situation selection, choosing to avoid or approach a situation that is likely to trigger a particular emotional response. For instance, skipping a social event to avoid anxiety, avoiding a particular person that you know upsets you. They have this innate ability to push your buttons. Avoiding a place that you know does not serve you. It does not help you grow. It does not help you in any facet of your life that you want to grow in. Those are things that we can do that help us to avoid losing control of our emotions. Let's avoid those situations that help us or put us in a position to lose control. We can do a situational modification, modifying a situation to change its emotional impact, such as changing the topic of a conversation that is becoming heated. If you know that, or you are seeing that you're in the conversation that you're in at that moment is starting to take a turn way over to the left, try to pull it back over to the right. If it's at about a 3 toward the left, there's still time. There's still opportunity to change that conversation, to change the mood of the room before it gets to that 7 or that 10 level. How about response modulation? Directly influencing your emotional response after it has occurred. This could involve deep breathing to calm down or suppressing an outburst. Hard. I know. Trust me, I know. Hard. But after you've already been in this place or this situation, you did not have good situation selection at that time. Okay, that's fine. We've all been there. After you've already tried with situation modification, and you saw that the situation that you were already in was one that you didn't want to be in, and you tried to deter it, and you tried to change the mood of the room, and you tried to change the topic of conversation, but that didn't work. And it still went from that 3 all the way through to that 7 and that 10. Then we're going to try response modulation. We're going to step away from the situation. We're going to take that deep breath. We're going to phone a friend that we know is able to calm us down no matter what it is that we're going through. They are that listening ear. They are that let me vent person in your life. And they're going to help you to get from that level 10 all the way down to that 3. It may not be 1, but if they can get you from 10 to 3, then that's good enough. So let's try those 3 things. If we can select our situation. If we cannot select the situation, let's try to modify the situation. And if we cannot modify the situation, let's try to choose how we respond to the situation. What are your thoughts, Ms. Deborah?
That's good. And so I hope everyone is out there taking notes, because these little nuggets can help you, because it's not always what you say or what you do, but how you say it and how you do it. So knowing these little things can help you in the future. So I think they're great. And I'm going to continue, Agnes, with identifying those triggers. And I think, awareness is one of the first things that is essential in getting a grasp on things. Because if you don't know how to recognize them or want to admit that you have them, that's a huge problem. So identifying is great, right? So, everyone has emotional triggers. We all have emotions. We're supposed to use our emotions. So that's not a thing. But think about it. You can be having the greatest day, but there is a statement or a look or maybe even one word that can just take you over the edge. It might be, I'm going to let you, or I don't know, some word that you remember from your past that someone used to say to me. Maybe someone used to call you shorty, and maybe now you've grown. You were in a little spurt there, and your peers may have been taller than you, but all of a sudden you grew. But just that word just throws you in a tizzy. You just don't like that word. So that's a trigger. So if you know that that's a trigger, then you can condition yourself that, when I hear that, I'm not going to let it bother me, because people are going to say whatever it is that they want to say. I am the only one that can control myself. So then you have to take it from there. So, think about those things that trigger you. Another one, you need to encourage young men to pay attention to really what sets you off and why. Because when those situations happen, maybe you can take the time to write them down. When you get somewhere, get quiet. Today I got upset. Okay, what, ask yourself, well, what happened before that situation even came up? So was it something already bothering you, and that was just something that pushed you over the edge? Or was it that person? Is it something that person said or did to you, and maybe they don't even know that but it overwhelms you? It makes you feel a certain type way. Try writing that down, journaling it, and begin to pray over that situation. Whatever they said, I know it's not true. It upsets me, and I get very angry when I see them. But I have to do better, because I can't control what they say, how they act, or how they make me feel, but I can control me. So if I know that I'm going to see this person every Wednesday. We're in the same class. If I'm going to see this person every Saturday because we go to the same organization, then I'm going to get myself ready. I know Sam is going to be there. Sam pushes a button in me. I'm not going to let Sam do that. Lord, help me when I see them to think pleasant thoughts or whatever. So that's going to help you to get over that. So you're going to have the emotion because emotions are natural. If you're not having some type of emotions, then something is wrong with you. So the emotions are okay, but it's not letting those emotions trigger you and get you to act out. You got to try to reel them back in. And really praying over those things is really, really a good way. And another way is mentors. There's always, as Coach Ricardo Miller says, there's always someone that's assigned to assist you. So you can get with someone and tell them, I really want to change my persona or how people see me. I know that I react a certain way in these situations. I would like to take some time to sit down with you and tell you what those triggers are, how they make me feel, and maybe you can assist me in, learning how to deal with those things. So again, know what those triggers are and then recognize, yes, that is a trigger. Don't, try to deny it. Somebody say, you know what, every time you see that person, you get quiet, you won't say anything, you have this look on your face, and you say, no, I don't. Be honest. Well, yes, I do. I don't know why I react like that, but make sure you identify them, you recognize them, and you're like, hey, I want to get past that. And that would be a great, great help.
Mm. Miss Deborah, I have to nod and say yes, because my best friend, who is basically my sister, she had to have this conversation with me earlier this week about, dealing with when other people walk in the room and when your energy shifts or your energy changes because of somebody else's actions or behaviors and stuff like that. And I think that that is such a powerful message. And I know that if me at years old can still receive this message, then I'm sure that there's somebody else out there that could use a message like this evening. Make sure that you are liking, make sure that you are sharing, make sure that this reaches somebody that you know that needs it for sure. And by sharing it, you're going to get it to somebody that it was meant for, even if you didn't know that it was what they needed at the time. Because I definitely didn't know I needed this conversation at this time. This is definitely some stuff for me too. And we are going to move into healthy coping strategies, how to replace negative reactions like yelling, shutting down, substance use, and abuse with healthy ones like exercise, music, talking, reflection. And I know that it sounds as if these things may be difficult. In the moment of, it will take willpower, it will take an intentionality like no other. However, we must consider what happens when we don't take control of our emotions, when we're not in control of ourselves. And so let's look at the yelling, that nobody is heard when voices are raised. Both parties or everyone in the situation feels disrespected. And so, because I feel disrespected, I'm going to disrespect you. And then you continue to disrespect me. And we're not getting anywhere. There's no resolve. Shutting down isn't any better because there's still no resolve to the situation. When you shut down, you are still carrying your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions with you. You did not have an opportunity to express them. And I I'm quite familiar with this behavior. It does not resolve the situation, it only prolongs it. Because you will not feel better with yourself, you will not feel better around the other person until that conversation has happened, until you've gotten resolve and reached some sort of middle ground. And substance use on abuse is within itself a torture, because then that means that it's not just the mental toll that the situation is bringing to you, but it's turning into a physical toll. You always hear about people, they died of heartbreak, or they're making themselves sick, or you worried yourself to sickness or something like that. To physically put something in your body, remember, this is substance use and abuse. To put something in your body as a coping mechanism for the stress that you're under or the situation that you're in still doesn't help you with the situation or the stress. It only numbs the pain. It only prolongs you having to deal with it. So if we're focused on other things, instead of breaking down your body and hurting yourself, start exercising. When you exercise, you have an opportunity to clear your mind. You have an opportunity to listen to an audiobook. You have an opportunity to raise your blood pressure and get that extra energy and anxiety out. Maybe you have a favorite song that you like to listen to. Maybe you have a favorite friend that you like talking to. Or maybe you just need to be by yourself so that you can have that time to reflect and you can look back at what you did in the situation, how it could have gone differently, and what you would do different going forward if given the opportunity. Dealing with stress, emotional situations, healthy coping strategies are what is needed for it. And what you can do is, when possible, adapt the situation or your environment to reduce your triggers. For example, if you get stressed in traffic, you might listen to calming music or a podcast. If you are stressed at work, the calming music or podcast may not work without earbuds. However, when it is your lunch break or when it is that you're able to step away, you're not just going to sit down at your desk or sit at school and eat your lunch or go into the cafeteria along with everybody else. No, you take your lunch outside and you go on the grounds. You go to a more remote area. This is going to give you an opportunity to avoid the triggers of your life, the way that Miss Deborah said, and also to bring peace into your surroundings. Whenever it is possible, change your situation or environment. Reduce your triggers. And don't be afraid to give yourself space. When you feel that a strong reaction is brewing, physically or mentally remove yourself from the situation for a few minutes. Doing this will give you time to calm down and choose a more measured response. I know that there are times and situations where it is hard to let go and detach and walk away. But if you are a person that has a temper, I'm sure that you can think of times and situations where you wished you walked away. If you are a person that has friends in your group that have that type of a temper, or inappropriate responses when conflict is involved. I know that you've seen times and situations where you wish they had walked away. And so reflect on those things. Think about what can be done differently. Think about how you would approach the situation differently if it were you or the next time around. And let's see if that will be the difference in the next time you're in a situation that you wouldn't want to be in or that you don't like. And so now on the other side of that is managing stress with intention, not just, I think maybe I'll walk away. Eh, when she comes around again, I guess I'll just go in the other room or something like that. The key part of this is managing it with intention. Doing things intentionally is the key. So, a part of you managing your stress and keeping yourself at a very even keel, one would be to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Regular exercise, a healthy diet, sufficient sleep, all of these things can stabilize your mood and make it easier to manage your emotions. When you are sleep deprived, you are angry. When you are hungry, you are angry. When you are not regularly exercising and then your body is also telling on you, you're angry. You're more responsive and reactive. So, one of the things that we can do when it comes to managing stress with intention is to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Another thing that we can do is surround ourselves with positive people. Select your friends carefully. Select your acquaintances carefully. If you need to, select the family that you are around carefully, because the people around you can significantly influence your mindset. Try to seek out supportive individuals who lift you up rather than reinforce negative thinking patterns. Someone that has never owned a business cannot teach you and tell you about owning a business. Someone that has never walked away from a fight in their life cannot teach you and tell you how to walk away from a fight. They are relative things. When Coach Ricardo tells us that in a group of 5 people, in a group of 4 people, you are the fifth, meaning that if you surround yourself with 4 people that are successful, you'll become the fifth. Also, if you surround yourself with 4 other people that are not going anywhere in life, most likely you're not going to end up anywhere either. And if you surround yourself with people that have not mastered that skill of emotional regulation, they're not going to be able to help you to get to the point of emotional regulation either. So, next one, seek professional help. Remember, we're talking about managing stress with intention. And if you realize that you cannot do it on your own, your friend groups around you are not in a position or they're not able to help you through it, then maybe you need to seek professional help. If negative reactions and thoughts are persistent and significantly impacting your life, therapy may be the answer. It can provide structured tools and support to help you manage and replace these patterns. Speak to a professional. We all are walking through this little thing called life, and experiences will give us some knowledge, but training gives another set of knowledge that we will not have without talking to somebody who's got that training. There's no shame in it. There's nothing embarrassing about it. It is readily available and fairly easy to find. You just need to find a therapist that is compatible with your personality type. But don't let anybody tell you that there's anything wrong with seeing a therapist. All it means is that you're seeking professional assistance. That's all it means. What are your thoughts, Miss Deborah?
I agree. You brought up some great points. So those are some of the things that we really need to, that will help us in managing that stress, which is a big step for everyone. So thank you for those nuggets. And I'm going to go into our last one, which is the role of mentorship and support. The role of mentorship and support. So, you have your parents, your community, educators, those people around you. They can give you emotional balance. They can help you with that emotional balance. Our young men need to feel that they have a safe space in which that they can go into when they are feeling frustrated, something's not going right. They feel like the world is just judging them. It's just always something. Well, they need, it's like, you need a village. So it's not the village that you need, but like back in the day, your village would help your parents to keep you in line or whatever. You still may need that to a certain extent, but your village can assist you in these areas of giving you emotional support. So you may have a parent that's single. They may be working 2 or 3 jobs. They cannot give you that time that they really need to be there to see what it is that you're doing, how you look when you come from school. Are you looking the same way you did when you left? Are you still having a happy face? When you come home, are you looking stressed, beat down? If you're not there, maybe that neighbor may pick up on that. Maybe that coach that you have at school can pick up on that. Maybe one of your professors or your teachers can pick up on that. So you need that group. And like Anastasia talked about associations, those are people that are around you as well. Your neighbors, your peers, your family members. And you need support so they can step up and give you that support. So that's some of the things that they need to do. So, not so much always telling you what you didn't do right, what you need to do, blah, 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 beating you down all the time. But it's, hey, what can I do to support my child? What can I do to support that young man? He comes home. I'm sure he has to do his homework. He has to take care of his younger siblings. I see him taking out the garbage. I see him mowing the lawn. What can I say to that young man to encourage him, to let him know that all these things that he's doing, probably all these emotions that he's feeling, it's okay. But if he gets overwhelmed, I'm over here. What is it that I can do to help? If it's nothing but a word, if it's nothing but, okay, when he gets home, I've already taken that trash can in for him. He doesn't even have to do that part. Whatever someone can do to assist. Someone sees that, you got to get home, and then your siblings, they get home after you. You've got to make sure they get off the bus. You got to make sure that they are fed. They don't get home at the same time because you got some in elementary, you got some in middle school. That neighbor may say, hey, I know you probably got a lot to do. I know your mom works. Don't worry about get going down to the bus stop to get your brother. I'll get them when I pick up my child and make sure that they get home safely. That's assisting. That's taking a load off. That's emotional support. And our young people need this. Just, a lot of times we tell the kids, why are you stressed? You don't have to go to work. You don't have a job. But we never know sometimes what they're dealing with at home. Are they having to do adult things? What they're dealing with at school is are there subjects so that they don't understand and they don't have anyone at home that can support them. So kind of think about that. What can I do to assist them? Everybody working together can be a great help. So I just think that I can't say enough about that. Those people that are playing a role, because people are always quick to say the negative things that they see a young person doing, but do they ever encourage them when they see them doing the right thing, or do they see them struggling to say something to help them? So all that emotional stress and things that go along with that. And you may be sitting there saying, well, when I was young, I had to go through a lot of things too. But think about the world 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 60 years ago. They were nothing like today is. Today there is so much going on. Murder rates are up. Hate crimes are up. We have things that are good, such as technology and the amount of technology. But sometimes, it changes so fast. You got to try to keep up with that. So there's so much that is going on. And you think about you and your mindset, and you're a settled person, how sometimes it can get you frazzled. What do you think about that young person? They're all the same. And, one of our guests said one day, she said, sometimes we say, oh, I need to take a mental health day. And you really do need to do that. But we never say to our children, you know what? You look like you've had a really hard week. You can stay home tomorrow if you like. No, we want to push them. And that's a good thing to get them wanting to attend school and letting them know that it's important that they attend school every day. But when you look at them and they look like they may be at that breaking point, let them have a mental health day. And I thank Brady Robinson for saying that, because I had never even thought about that. It's like, we want them to go to school. We want them to get perfect attendance. We want them to go. How do you feel sometimes? Think about that. That's how they feel as well. So do those things that you would want someone to do for you if you were struggling emotionally, because young people struggle as well. Do you agree, Anastasia?
Oh, I definitely do. I have actually been guilty of telling my kids, what do you have to stress? Asking them, what do you have to stress about? Like, what is going on in your world that is so much and so bad that you're not getting 100% on this test, or you're not doing this, or you're not doing that? I've definitely been guilty of it. And I had to step back and really think that, you know what? I just may not know what they have to go through and what it is that they have to deal with. So I'm really glad that you brought that up and that you made that point, because as parents, it's not something that we reflect on regularly. And since this is for young men, I would like to have them also think about their parent situations, because a lot of times as parents, we just don't know. And if you do not open up and tell us, we will not know. And so we are thinking of you and reflect and expecting things of you that we did ourselves at your age. But as Miss Deborah said, these are different times. It is definitely not the same growing and learning environment anymore that it was when we were kids, when I was a kid, when Miss Deborah was a kid, when your parents were kids. And so have a little grace with us too. We need a little grace sometimes too, because our range of knowledge is not the same as yours. And sometimes our expectations or our perception of situations are not accurate. And we need a little help with it sometimes. And so, don't worry about us. We trying. I don't think there are many parents. There's of course there are some deadbeat parents, but there are not many parents out there that are not at least trying.
That's right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. So I hope, um, I know some of these topics get, real deep. However, those are the type conversations that we need in order to assist our young people. And that's what we're here for. So, put your comments out there, share, let us know what you think, but definitely share with someone that you know, them or someone in their family could use the information, because if no one is sharing and they're not here to hear it, it's not getting to them. So we appreciate everything that you do to assist us in getting the word out. And talking about getting the word out, I don't know how much you've heard about this month, but this month, we here at Build Your Best Life are doing 31-31, which is 31 books in 31 days. We are trying to ensure that every single day this month that someone is purchasing a book for someone else or for themselves. So for those of you who follow Build Your Best Life, you know that I wrote a book, Build Your Best Life, and it has the same basic principles that I teach here live. And it is a book that was written so that our young people could understand. There are people that they know within the book that they can relate to. Hey, if they overcame that, I can as well. So we're trying to get as many of these books in the hands of our young people as we can during the month of October. So that's why it's 31 and 31. So if you don't have a book, you need to get yourself one. So you need to get one, and you need to gift one as well. So you need two. You need a copy to keep and read for yourself if you have not already read it. And of course, help a young man. Now, young people, a lot of them don't have extra money. Some of them don't even get allowances. This is a book that can help them. So if you would help us with this challenge, we would greatly appreciate it. The information is on your screen. You can get your copies by going on my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org as well. You can email me at byblwdsmith@gmail.com. And if you get mixed up, it's Build Your Best Life with D. Smith. So byblwdsmith@gmail.com. I would love to get those books to you in hand, autographed. But you can also get them on Amazon. But please help us with that challenge. We would greatly appreciate that. And again, we appreciate you coming on here every Thursday as we talk about it. We love these topics, right, Anastasia?
Absolutely. And don't forget, they are available in Nassau too. So if it is that you want to get your hands on one of those books, you can reach out to me. No, apologies. You can reach out to Miss Deborah, who will then reach out to me. Let's fix that. You can reach out to Miss Deborah, who will then reach out to me. And we will get a copy of that book in your hand as soon as possible.
Yes. Thank you so much. As well, it is time for those moms on a mission. Yes, yes, yes. They will be here on Saturday, and we have another great topic. So, sometimes they say moms are overprotective, but are we there supporting? Are we being there? Are we overprotecting really? So check us out on Saturday. It's going to be Mom Tanya, Mom Jocelyn, Mom Anita, and myself. And we're going to tell you the difference in being there for your child, and then sometimes we can be that helicopter mom, be overprotected. So join us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 8:30 Central. We would love to have you here. And as always, we always on Tuesdays at 6:30. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Anastasia, have a blessed rest of your day. I know it's
Thank
almost gone, but enjoy.
I definitely will. Thank you so much. And I hope that you would do the same.
Thank you. And y'all bear with me because I got to figure out what stream y'all are doing today. They keep changing the way we log off here. So if you see me still on, just wave at me. Bye. But remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. Love you, be blessed.